You know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lee's saying he's wondering whether or not that might be the moon, Tony, but you pointed out it's exactly the question people are asking. What is it?
No. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're looking at the moon right now, and that's nowhere near the moon.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the moon.
Meanwhile,
members of Congress and local elected officials are growing increasingly irate at the Biden administration's lack of answers over these ongoing, unexplained drone sightings. Republicans and Democrats alike are demanding more transparency, some calling it outrageous and concerning. The drone sightings are no longer limited to New Jersey. Now there are other states, including New York and Connecticut, where state police just deployed a drone detection system. Just moments ago, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby was asked once again to try to explain this all.
I wish I could tell you exactly why we don't have an answer for you here in the afternoon on the 13th of December, but I can tell you that we are working on it very, very hard to know, because we want to answer those questions the same as those folks in New Jersey want answers to them.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about some major backlash that the Biden administration is currently getting over the fact that they do not seem to be able to explain what the hell is going on with these drones, okay? As everybody should be aware of by now, this country, including also other countries as well too, are being invaded by drones, mysterious drones that are capable of doing things that our modern technology can't really explain, okay? And that's the part about this I think that the mainstream liberal media is really missing, is that these drones reportedly are coming out of the ocean. They are shutting off other drones that try to go up and observe them. They are disappearing. They're moving at speeds that are not normal for the type of aircraft that we have, or the type of drones that we have.
Central Jersey, we've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message, come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
But don't worry, the adults are back in charge, right? This is what the Democrats told us in 2020, okay? After the election, the adults are back in charge. We're in good hands, okay? We're safe as a country. despite the fact that the Biden administration, Biden himself, has been silent on this, and his lackeys, his goons, basically have told the American people nothing to worry about. Don't worry about all of these, weird things that these drones are doing, that they're flying around in our airspace with impunity, and they are observing military bases, and that we're not doing anything about it. Just don't worry. There's no threat at all, even though they're not from us, and we don't think they're from a foreign adversary either. But again, just don't worry. Don't worry.
Let me calm those nerves. We have not seen anything unusual. We have not seen any unusual activity. We know of no threat. We know of no nefarious activity. I want to repeat that. We have not seen anything unusual. We know of no threat or of any nefarious activity. And let me explain. People are reporting sightings of drones. It is very common for individuals who think they see drones to actually see small aircraft, and we have a case of mistaken identity. Also, we have 6 different people reporting what they think is a drone, and all of a sudden we have reports of 6 drone sightings. So there's some duplication. I have been in touch with Governor Murphy every day. Our experts have been in touch with the New Jersey State Police every day. What we have done is we have deployed our state-of-the-art technology. We've deployed our experts to New Jersey. That technology has not confirmed any drone sightings. In addition, it has confirmed that some reported drone sightings are, in fact, small aircraft. Pilots have not reported seeing drones. That's not to say that there aren't drones, flying in the air, but we have no concern at this point with respect to a threat or any nefarious activity. The reality is you can have a 15-year-old kid who buys a drone off the shelf and puts it up in the sky. We have not seen drones turn their lights off in the dark. We have not seen drones penetrate restricted airspace. Those are 2 indicia that would give us a cause for concern. Wolf, I want to let the American people know right now that if we learn of any cause for concern, I will be back in this seat and explain to the American public why.
Yeah. So again, this is the same guy that told us, don't worry, the border's closed. Okay. There's not an invasion of aliens at the border. That's not happening. Is this the guy that we really trust to tell us the truth about what seems to be another invasion of this country? No, right? Because quite literally, you have people fed up on both sides of the aisle. You have Kathy Hochul coming out here and pressing the Biden administration for more information, saying that this is going too far. And the reports on the ground from politicians, from everybody, they're saying that, hey, the Biden administration, you guys are full of shit. That these things not only are real, but again, they are doing things that we cannot explain with modern technology. Take a look.
Shockingly said this week, we haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat, close quote. What? The massive invasion of drones observed and recorded by so many of our citizens, including and especially law enforcement and military personnel, many who are here. Is it unusual? Is he kidding? How does Secretary Mayorkas, who infamously told us for years that our southern border was secure and closed when we know it's not, and now insult our intelligence that we haven't seen anything unusual? This is usual? I don't think so. And how can he and others, like National Security Spokesman Admiral John Kirby, say we know there's no threat? How do they know that? What aren't they revealing? Or are they just saying it? How can anyone speculate or issue assurances to thousands, millions of Americans who have witnessed, thousands who have witnessed the drones, that there is no threat? For weeks, we've asked for the truth and action to mitigate any and all threats to people and property. Now, we are demanding it. As the sightings increase, including by service members at Naval Weapons Station Earl, and I did talk to the commander there, his men are seeing it right there at the base. Are you kidding me? A munitions depot of that caliber, and these drones are hovering in close proximity to it. The Coast Guard told me the other day, and Sheriff Mastronardi, that one of its 47-foot rescue boats was followed in very close proximity off its stern by numerous drones. Why can't we bag at least one of these drones and get to the bottom of it? Why can't we even track them? I asked Secretary Mayorkas at a briefing, a Zoom briefing, why we can't follow them, find out where they're going. They're coming from somewhere. Okay, you can't seem to do that. Why can't we follow them and find what their origin is? Many of them seem to be coming from the ocean. I was with Sheriff Mastronardi the other day on the beach, and we saw a video, and we talked to heard one of his deputies talk about how she had seen 50 of them coming from the ocean to mainland. Is there something out there? We don't have the capability to do that. We don't have control over our airspace. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, the feckless response to the Chinese Communist Party's spy balloon. When that thing traversed America and went over one very sensitive base, including the B-2 bombers base, after another. We did nothing except say, oh, it's a spy balloon. Or is it? Or is it a weather balloon? I still can't get over that one.
Yeah, so you see, now you heard that. Now, I'm starting to get to the point where I think the unfortunate reality about why is it that our government is not saying anything about this and why they don't have an explanation for it is because there's not really anything they can do about it, right? I mean, the technology, the capabilities of these drones, the alleged capabilities that they're displaying leads me to believe that we might not have the abilities to actually take them down or to really engage with them at any significant level due to the fact that they're just so advanced. Now, I'm saying this in the context of other stories about these drones outside of what has happened recently, because apparently, I mean, these things can disable our nukes, right? I mean, there's stories about that. There's been testimony about that. And the way that they maneuver around the sky and in the ocean seems to suggest that they're using some type of anti-gravity technology. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is what it is for sure. I'm just telling you in the context of this story, which is not a recent story. This is something that has been in the news for years now about these so-called UAPs and their capabilities. And I want you guys to understand, this is not just a U.S. phenomenon, right? Like, it's not just happening in the U.S. This is happening all across the globe and also all across the country as well. Take a look.
Firstly, good evening, Chris. Look, I have to say I vehemently disagree with any assertion that either the FBI or the Defense Department have any idea, any clear idea, what this phenomenon is over the east coast of the United States. I'm talking to people in the FBI who are utterly baffled by this phenomenon. They tell me they do not know what these objects are. They're not getting answers. I'm told, for example, that these objects are the size of an SUV, a large SUV. So the argument from the congressman that these objects are too small to detect is not correct at all. I'm told that there have been attempts to interdict these objects and that there have been the deployment of anti-drone technology. I've just received information in the last few minutes about the PSEG nuclear site at Salem, which is the Hope Creek Generating Station on a 740-acre site in Salem County, New Jersey. And a person who is privileged enough to have access to the internal messaging about that nuclear station has told me that they tried to deploy an anti-drone technology over multiple drones that were seen over the nuclear site, and that anti-drone technology, which normally works on all drones, completely failed. Moreover, these objects, whatever they are being seen not just on the East Coast, they are being seen all over the world. I'm getting reports from here in Australia, from Japan, Indonesia, China, Russia, Europe.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about this. Like, I don't think they have the capabilities of actually doing anything about it, okay? And that naturally brings us to the conversation about, well, what is this? What could this possibly be? I'm at the point now where I'm basically saying, all right, this is some type of secret government project, right? From hopefully the U.S. government, maybe some shadow government. And I'm going full tinfoil hat Alex Jones here because Quite honestly, I have no other explanation for this. And maybe, again, it's a project and maybe some exercises being done by this, I guess, shadow government that is not really held accountable by the federal government, right? The government that we believe is actually, in control of all of our military projects and things we do. There are certainly things they're working on that may just be outside of the jurisdiction of our government, right? Our regular government that everybody recognizes, okay? So that could be what it is. And quite honestly, I hope that's what it is, right? And that would explain the disconnect or the apparent disconnect between the federal government, the military, and local officials in regards to what this is, right? And the outright denial from the federal government may suggest that maybe they do know what it is. They just understand that they can't really do anything about it. They can't actually really interfere with it because, again, this is a project of, I don't know, the shadow government, right, so to speak, okay? And admitting that their hours would be in an admission that, hey, we have this type of technology and that we're working on things like this, which will open up a whole lot of questions about if we have this type of technology, would essentially change the world, right? With the capabilities that have been displayed by these drones, a whole lot of people have a whole lot of questions about why is it that this technology is being kept from the people? Again, it could revolutionize the world as we know it. Okay, so I don't know, man. I'm hoping that's the explanation at this point. I think that's the best case scenario. Obviously, one of the worst case scenarios is that these objects are from some foreign entity like China, Russia, Iran, which I highly doubt, right? I highly doubt that they have more advanced technology than we do, okay? Or at the very least, I'm hoping that they don't. But I guess you could say that's a possibility. I just think that it's not a very likely possibility. And that's probably the scariest possibility, that some other foreign country has vastly surpassed us in technology. But I don't think we have much evidence of that, okay? If they're of terrestrial origin, then they're likely from the US. And if that's the case, the question is why, right? Why now? Why are they making it so obvious? Why are they causing mass chaos and panic with these drones and then not really explaining to the American people what they're seeing? Because you could instantly calm people down by just coming out and saying, yeah, they're ours, right? And again, I guess you maybe want to hide it. But again, my bigger question is, if this is some type of military black project, why would they do it out in public like this, right? Why would you make it so apparent that people can see these things and cause this type of mass panic if this is supposed to be so secret? It really doesn't make sense. So who knows? Maybe this could be the beginning of Project Bluebeam, which is the alleged plot from the government to stage some type of fake alien invasion in an effort to get more funding for the Pentagon, because we already know how the military industrial complex works. You present some type of threat. Oh, we need money. We need trillions of more taxpayer dollars to help defend against this threat. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it comes from, even though it's us, right? But hey, we need the money, right? We need the money. Okay, so give us the money, right? And I guess that would explain why is it you would want to cause this type of mass hysteria, is because when people are afraid, when they're scared, then they're willing to essentially give more power to the government, right? That is likely probably what this is. It's all a plot to get the Pentagon and the military more money, okay? Because we know that they never, ever, ever really cut the military budget. They just keep feeding and feeding and feeding the machine, and this could be the latest plot to do so. Probably the most likely explanation. I told you guys I'm going full tinfoil hat Alex Jones, right? Because it's getting to that point now. I'm scratching my head on this and wondering what the hell is going on. But, you know, speaking of aliens, that also brings up the possibility that this could be extraterrestrial or spiritual in origin, as in it comes from some type of spiritual entity. Like, for example, Ezekiel's chariot, which is a story in the Bible about the visions that Ezekiel was having, in which he described a chariot, a divine vehicle that is a representation of the heavenly part of God's organization. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying that I think it would be unwise to rule that out, for as insane and bonkers as that sounds. We're at that point, right, where it's just like, you know, maybe, just maybe we're dealing with something that, you know, is of some otherworldly origin, right? I don't know, right? I have no clue whatsoever. Okay. I mean, this is something straight out of a sci-fi movie like Independence Day, right? That's kind of what it feels like. It's starting to really feel that way. And I'm hoping and praying that's not the case, okay? But that would essentially be the perfect explanation for all the chaos right now, and the fact that the government is playing dumb about this, or we don't know what it is. But hey, it's not a threat. It's not a threat. Don't worry, right? We can't really do anything about it. We can't really explain why we can't do anything about it. We can't really explain why these things are behaving the way that they're behaving, and the fact that they are flying around military airspace and installations with impunity, which, by the way, is something that the American people should hope the government would never let happen, except we do know that they did kind of let that happen with the Chinese spy balloon, right? So again, you know, maybe, just maybe, they're afraid of shooting one of these things down or really trying to engage with these things for various reasons, right? And I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, well, maybe the reason why they were so afraid to shoot down the Chinese spy balloon is because they wanted to make sure it wasn't one of these things, right? That clearly are far more advanced and superior in technology than just some regular spy balloon. So I don't know. I mean, there is a whole lot of possibilities out there. All I know is that the response from the Biden administration, from the adults in charge, it leaves a lot to be desired, right? We look extremely weak in our leadership, right? In our inability to actually figure out what these things are, to give a thorough explanation of what are they doing, to ensure that the American people are safe. It just doesn't look good, right? It looks really, really, really bad. And if they allow this to continue to go on, there will be mass panic and chaos. And that's the last thing that the government should want at this point. So I would highly advise for these officials to come clean about where these things are from. Okay. If they're ours, just say they're ours, right? Get some type of control over these military black projects. Because, you know, hey, they're causing panic, right? I would highly advise that they do something in order to stop this, or come out clean and just be real about what these things are and where the government believes that they're actually from. So either way, we'll see what happens, but let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.